Hi guys, what is up? This is the very first long form video, and in this video I'm actually going to explain how you can run Ollama on Modal.com. I have it here, and let's dive a little bit deep in the code I wrote. Pretty much everything I have here is coming from Modal's documentation to how to determine what operating system you want, what flavor you want, what CUDA version you want. And let me make it clear, I'm not sponsored by Modal to make this video. I just found that Modal.com is the best place to run the large models you usually don't have the chance to run on your own computer. Especially my Mac is one of these old Macs. As you can see, I only have 4 gigs of good GPU, and my Intel GPU is only 1.5 gigabytes. So together I have around 5.5 gigabytes of GPU VRAM here, which doesn't really meet the requirements of a model like Gemma 327B. So here you determine the model. I put the link in description so you can easily go ahead and find out the link and how to sign up on Modal. It's very straightforward. And then there is a function which pulls the model from Ollama hub, and then there is something which runs Ollama in background. This is what you usually do. This part is what you usually do on a Linux machine. And then I added this. It wasn't really suggested in a lot of code examples I saw, but why I have started this, I added this. The reason is because I just wanted to make sure that everything is work fine. You can remove this line and it will pretty much work pretty good. And then it pulls the model from Ollama's repositories, which is not really a very strange thing to do. Then it actually makes a basic image. My Ollama version is a little bit old, I guess. I guess the newer version is 0.6.2, but for Gemma 3 you need 0.0.1 and later to execute correctly. Although this version had some bugs with the particular model I'm going to use here, and it's a whole other story. And then it installs Ollama here, and it adds the files from the other parts. I actually just copied them from a Linux server I had, and after that we just install FastAPI in order to get the FastAPI endpoint on Modal, and Ollama Python library, because we basically have used it here. Sorry, I'm a little bit sleepy. You can see it's 2:40 a.m. in my time zone, but this is my favorite part of all time, when you can determine what GPU you want to use, the scale down window which keeps the whole thing up, and the timeout, and what volume you are going to use. You can change any of these if you want to have a more organized way of using the script. As I told you, it's just my interpretation of what Modal documentation suggests. Of course, I got help from my good old friend ChatGPT, but let's not get ahead of ourselves first. In this Ollama thing, we actually are going to run the model first, and then we run this chat thingy, and we return what it actually returned. So how we are going to run this? Easy. First, I actually provided a list of models I personally have tested here. Especially, my favorite models were Gemma models and Mistral models. And for this particular test, I'm actually going to make the model very small. I'm actually just going to use Quen 2.5. I guess there is a 1.b version here. I just do it because the model is small, but I know the 1.5 billion parameters model is not really as good as you may think. And I guess no. Okay. Now, by running this, I just basically run the whole script inside Modal's servers, and you will actually see how it downloads and installs the model here. Just ignore the whole warnings it gives you about you know the CUDA version or something like that. The container is taken care by Modal team, um, and they actually made it. And here it is. Here, the endpoint for me. I'm just copying this and I'm pasting it here. And although let me disclaim here that it's not an OpenAI compatible API, I tried my best to make it an OpenAI compatible API. Here you pass an array of messages. I have the role of user, and the content is hello. Who are you and what are your capabilities? So here I click on send, and if I go back to VS Code, you will notice here we may see something happening, which says that our request here is being processed. The very first request you are sending to Modal API you have deployed, it's usually a little long. It's 20 seconds, and as you can see, it says, "Hello, I'm Quen, an AI language model developed by Alibaba Cloud. My main purpose," and it actually just starts talking to you. And I'm actually entering my classic prompt here. Write a Python code for calculation of the factorial of n using a recursive function. And honestly, I guess for this, an A100 was overkill. As you can see, it gave me the answer. You can put this answer into a markdown interpreter and have a better visual. I guess the row or the preview, okay, no, the pretty is the best. And here it is. It only took around 3 seconds. So just to show you that it works with larger models, I'm actually going to change the model to a larger one as well. So here is DeepSeek R1 8B, which I believe is based on Llama 3.1 or 3.2, I don't really know. To my understanding, Llama 3.2 didn't have, okay, I have a difficulty here. Let's connect it again. Llama 3.2 didn't have an 8 billion parameters version. It was 1, 3, 11, and 90. It was 3.1 with 8, 70, 870 and 405. I actually have a project which is a fine-tune of the 405 billion parameters model, which you can actually find it here. It needs 4 H100s to be executed on Modal, but I don't really recommend using this one. I personally am going to release a new one, which is smaller but better. But I'm just not going to spoil it. It's not a movie, but I just don't want to spoil my projects. I will make a video when the project is ready. Anyway, let's not get ahead of ourselves. This thing is again up and running on the pretty same link. I'm just going to Postman. I don't change the prompt because it's a reasoning model and I ask it for a coding task which has mathematics involved, so I need to see the reasoning part as well. And again, here you can see the CUDA is starting to mumble about something, but here we are, and here we actually can see stuff going on. Okay, I actually can check my phone in the meantime. Anyway, I'm just joking. I just don't speed up the video because I just want you to witness how long does it take in the very first actually in the very first try. I don't really know why this happens. My guess is that since this is a question which requires reasoning, it may take a longer time. It's not really an uncommon thing for reasoning models to take longer than usual to answer you because you know, they have to think first and then start to talk about their thoughts to you. Anyway, let's be a little patient. You've been here until the 13 minutes mark. I appreciate that. But sometimes I even see some problems with Modal backend. I'm not saying that they are bad. I actually uploaded a ton of my APIs and models on Modal, but sometimes the model can't actually be executed perfectly or something like that. But as you can see here, I even executed this big model here. My most favorite big model here by far was Mistral Large, and my own model, Jabir 400B. But you know, DeepSeek on this hardware is another level of, I don't really know how to say that, another level of happiness. I guess we can go with that R1 1776 thing by Perplexity AI because they have a 70 billion parameter as well, which is basically one of the best models you can have. So, and this is my another project which was, you know, a more liberated form of Command R, because I found out that Command R is not commercially available. But I don't really know why we don't have any answers from the model yet. Come on, this is only an 8 billion parameters model. I run this model even on my old laptop. Anyway, on my old laptop it takes ages. Let me cancel and resend the request. Oh, as you can see, it worked. It takes... Oh, cancel. I, I think it was just Postman freezing. Anyway, it has the think, the famous think tag here, and closing the thing, and then answering my question. So you get the point. And basically, if you want to just close the connection, you hit Ctrl C on your keyboard and it aborts the app on the Modal side. And this is it. Thanks for being with me with my very first long form video. And let me just do the final edit to my code here, which is adding geometry 27b, and basically it was the original code. I will leave the links in the description for you to go and check out my code. Don't forget to star my code, fork, and give me feedback. Thank you.